What's up, everybody? It is the Overlook with another video. It is Mugiwara Monday, the days we talk
You're
about the Straw Hats. And today we have another pre-time skip character breakdown, Nico Robin, Miss All Sunday herself. Honestly, would have wished she would have kept that name. Or at least used it again once when she's undercover or something. Come on. Anyway, if you do like One Piece content, character breakdowns, episode and manga chapter discussions, and reviews, consider subscribing to us, help the channel grow. Write down a comment on your favorite Nico Robin moment. There's a lot to choose from. Try to keep it pre-time skip though. And I know it's I Want to Live. So what's your second? What's your second favorite Nico
facts.
Robin
All
moment?
right, all right. That already started playing in my head.
You know what I mean? That's a strong moment. One Piece has some strong moments.
They do.
Mine's Dare She, where she's just laughing with Saul. But yeah, so first of all, we are going to give us, if you are new to the channel, let's tell you how these go. We are breaking them down in pre-time skip and post-time skip, going through all the Straw Hats. Our last video was of Usopp. Check the playlist. We are going to be talking about just kind of Robin's introduction, her character, her mindset, her devil fruit, her powers, and more. So stay tuned. First of all, first impressions before anything else.
Good.
I like the result of her being on the run for so long, and how you're introduced to her as someone who has infiltrated Crocodile's whole Baroque works. I like that, and she's out for herself, and she's doing it under the guise of protection and to learn more about the Poneglyphs. Just the mindset that you would have to have, and the fact that you can't trust anyone, because since you were a kid, they've been chasing you. So, Miss All Sunday. Like it.
I I liked her. I didn't know she was going to be such a big character later on. I had no inkling of, oh, this person's definitely going to be joining the Straw Hat. So really excited to see that. One of the better backstories I've read in the manga. Are so overall good character. Um, and then she's very powerful in her own right as well. But I've always liked the idea that she is named as the light of the
The light of the revolution? Damn.
light of the revolution.
That's
Which I mean,
like, go ahead,
what's
sorry.
up?
Both of you guys are cutting out a little bit.
And like I like how Dragon treats her more like a child, like his child, than
His
he
child?
he treats Luffy. It's always made me laugh.
Well, she's also the devil child.
Yeah.
But I think over all of them, I'm picking Miss All Sunday. My first impressions on Nico Robin. Yeah, to your point, Kev, she's the first one that trained us to be like, oh, we don't know who's going to be a Straw Hat. It could be anybody at any time because they feel like it. You know what I'm saying? Not because they've been with us for a whole 2 arcs.
Yeah, exactly.
But honestly, we won when it comes to Robin versus Vivi. She did used to have like more of a cowboy vibe, you know what I mean, in a lot of her clothing. So I wonder what was the change in that style. But I think they all used to have more of a cowboy vibe, you know what I mean? This used to be pirate cowboys. Like Ace was a cowboy. But yeah, when we meet her, it is through Baroque works. They're all named after holidays. She is picked, like I've said like 5 times already, Miss All Sunday, and she was the basically second in command, we want to say, to Crocodile, Mr. Zero. How do we feel about her introduction in Alabasta or through Baroque works?
I guess just cunning. She had a natural, mysterious air about her, but you knew that she was a problem. and somebody that would she would cause Sanji to be a liability at the same time.
Yeah. Do we think anybody could have honestly beat her if they fought her in Alabasta?
Crocodile.
Yeah, but I mean any of the Straw Hats.
Notwithstanding, no.
Yeah. Or any of the people in the revolution.
No.
There's no way. Like, if she really wanted to, if her plan was not just getting her information and going, she probably could have ended a lot of that.
I mean, post time skip, you're exactly right. I mean, we see her most recent power up. Talk about that in the post time skip, but I mean, she becomes a problem. So she was, she could have always been a.
But yeah, she eventually does join. She's 28 when she joins the Straw Hat, so she's the oldest by far at the moment, by at least like 10 years. Actually, 9 years, because I think Sanji and Zoro are 19, but still. So she keeps to herself a lot. She reads a lot. She drinks her tea. She enjoys like the banter that the Straw Hats have, because she didn't really have a lot of friends growing up. So she does like that like feeling of home and kinship, but she mostly keeps to herself.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of let her. So that's a cool little dynamic. I do think that she probably would fit in on other crews better, but I think she's more at home on this crew. As far as her powers, when we see it in pre-time skip, I don't think we see a lot of different versions of the power in pre-time skip, especially when we first meet her and going into the Water 7 Alabasta arcs. I think she's just using her clutch for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Does she use her... No, the Giganto, that doesn't come until Fishman Island, where she makes
Correct.
a giant leg. So, I mean, what other moves does she have in pre-time skip?
The mono.
Water 7, when they were looking for like the seahorse things and all that shit, and she was helping Luffy, they ran into her, or they were looking for Usopp, I can't remember which, and she used her hands to create eyes all over the place to find and locate it and let them know that she couldn't find them.
Yeah, well, yeah, she definitely does stuff like that, makes bridges,
Like
makes ladders and stuff like that.
And shit like that.
She has a lot of utility.
As far as like attacking, I think it's just a clutch.
And I guess, do you need more? If you're breaking spines?
Limbs, or subduing, or putting people in submission.
I know they're not dying on the show, but these people are dying. She's breaking people's spines in half and just dropping them. Very
And
dangerous.
There's more to her fruit, as we can see later, that we probably don't understand yet. But I mean, there's a reason that she can go full like demon later on, and that doesn't really. There's more to her fruit because it's the flower fruit. Why? How does that correlate with a demon?
Right. Unless she has something in her past that we don't know about yet. But I think we're too far in the story to be revealing more Robin stuff, you know? I think it would actually take away from...
Yeah.
I like the idea of her being like something else. But I'm wondering if that'll take a little bit away from like the demon child thing. Like her being ridiculed as a kid. It was like, oh, she actually was a demon, so... I don't know. I don't know if that changes or not, but that's my thought. She does a lot, but a little in Skypiea. But I feel like we get a lot about Robin in Skypiea. Like we get her basically doing her research, and we find out that while everybody's like hanging out, Zoro's like swinging from branches, like she's just doing the research.
I mean, when we go to her flashback, I mean, that's all she's ever known. She was never the one with the most friends, and that could also correlate to her reading books and being like the quiet person in the corner, but being around people she enjoys, like our Straw Hats. Like, she was just always ridiculed as the demon child, and she found her place among the scholars of Ohara, and that's how she was able to develop like the vast knowledge that she had. It's definitely in her wheelhouse to while everyone else is doing cool shit, she's just reading a book, and that's cool to her, and that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, agree. Okay, and then yeah, I mean, as far as like Skypiea goes, though, and this is the constant for Robin. She is a utility character, so not until like maybe later in the time skip does she really fight anybody. Um, Her abilities are kind of under wraps for the most part. I think out of fear of being too OP, because if you give us an idea, it's like, well, why didn't she just do that then?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but we get to the Davy back fight. No, Long Ring, Long Land. That's where they first see Kuzan right before Water 7. And then Kuzan's like, yo, she's going to be a problem for you. Like, I'm telling y'all right now, you might as well just let me take her because you're not going to want her.
Right.
And yeah, they all the Straw Hats have a similar reaction to that. That's kind of like, fuck that. But Robin herself is like, yeah, he's got a point. Which leads us into
Robin.
Bam.
Robin has very low self-worth. She lacks any kind of confidence or semblance of self. Sees herself more as an anchor, a dead weight, inconvenience to her newfound family and crewmates, and understands that they have particular dreams. Maybe is more prevalent to like Luffy's with the One Piece, but they have ambitions, and she would just get in the way. So, from that like state of mind, it's just easier if I remove myself.
Yeah. And she tries to multiple times. Like, outright tries to. And that just goes into like her mindset. And after I guess Eni's lobby, it's just a constant like watching her repair her own mindset, like laughing more, like chuckling more, hanging out with Chopper, because I think it's like he's like her pet in a way. Not really a pet, but like security blanket. You know what I mean? Like she's always looking out for Chopper.
Chopper is cute to her, and he's also a colleague.
Yeah.
They're both studious in their particular fields, where she's like one of the best archaeologists, and he's the best doctor. So they can at least bond over that.
This wasn't a pre-time skip, but like when Frankie's in Chopper's body, she's like, "Don't you fucking talk to me." You know? Don't you ruin Chopper for me. Yo, that's funny. But yeah, Water 7. That's when we get that, the moment that everybody knows when it comes to One Piece, where, maybe if you're like trying to show somebody, you're like, look, this gets serious. Like, I want to live. I feel like there was a lot leading up to that, and that was like one of the first times in One Piece where we had like everything for like 2 arcs leading up to this one thing. And she's also like the one that kind of sparked the Straw Hats' war against the government. They were kind of just pirates that didn't care about the government, but they're just outright at war after that.
Oh yeah.
So she kind of has to stay with them out of guilt. You know what I mean?
Oh, I don't.
Like, I can't just leave after that. Like, you can't.
You guys went to war. I have to stay.
Well,
that's crazy.
Thanks.
Thanks for the week and a half that we were together.
Thanks. You
enjoy the government.
You kind of ruined my life. All right.
Jeez.
But constantly been through trauma. She's seen multiple. Well, okay, at this point, she's seen 2 Buster Calls.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's traumatic. But moving forward after there, you just you have the Thriller Bark arc, which is more about Brooke than Robin. But this does start a constant thing that we have where Brooke and Robin are just walking somewhere. and they get attacked and they're both just walking. Brooke uses his eyes real quick and they keep walking while making like small talk and stuff like that. But usually they walk quiet because they're grown. Yeah. I like the Brooke Robin team up. That's one of my favorite Straw Hat duo pairs. I think it's a very mature, very like, oh, well, I mean, we could just go to where we need to go. We don't need to do all that. I feel like if you're sending that team out, you're getting a lot done. That's all I'm saying. Especially recon-wise. The two of them, like recon abilities, like Chris was saying, you can put eyes on your hands and pop up eyes anywhere. You can, if he remembers, remove his soul and go through the floors. So I think that's a very good combo. Any other good combos off the top of your guys' head with the Straw Hats that she'd be working with?
I know there's a time where they were trying to make the Megazord of Straw Hats, and she refused to go and do that because she said it was stupid.
Yeah, that was a good part. They're like, Robin, we need you.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
She's like, die. I want all y'all to die right now.
She's a very utility person. You can even see, like, when she uses her wings. She makes angelic wings, which I thought was pretty interesting compared, like, later on when we see a demon form. So that could be, to your point, like, what is she? But, I mean, she uses angel wings. She's a very utility character. And I do like that about her.
Yeah. Yo, the angel wings thing is actually a good point because she could be either the angel or the demon. Because every time she has them wings, I swear light's shining down. Like in Fishman Island or something. Like I swear to God. I know that's more post time skip, but I swear like the picture is in my head. I just don't know where it's from. That's
I also like her interactions with Luffy. I know we were talking about Boa Hancock hates Nami. She hates Robin as well.
She's the same age too.
Like Nami's always like there for her. Feel like how you were saying, but fucking Boa understands Luffy. Like she knows what to tell him, what not to tell him, what he's interested in, what he's not interested in, how his mind thinks. Like when they're talking about Marco, she calls him Pineapple. Oh, that guy.
Wait, Boa does or Robin does?
Robin does that. Robin's like Luffy's trying to remember who Marco is.
You said Boa, but yeah, and that's what I was talking about. Like it's like her constant like getting out of that state in the like Straw Hats getting her out of that state because 100%. She knows how to communicate with all of them individually. Jinbei and her is also another good pairing. Frankie and her is also another good pairing. Nami and her. I feel like we see Nami and her attack people together the most, like back to back. She, maybe breaking spines ain't always what she want to do because she'll lock people up and then Nami will just electrocute everybody. But if they're still standing after that, then she'll break their spine, I guess. What else you need? That move's OP. I wonder if it would work on Blackbeard. Or like if he can negate appendages being grown on him.
Well,
I guess hockey could do that.
Isn't it similar to the instance in Wano where it's like, are we talking about that? Because you're talking about Blackbeard.
I guess just in general, that's just a question because.
Well, in general, it's like her flower or her Hana no Mi. Like whenever she makes her like appendages, if they get hurt, she gets hurt. So you can touch it and affect her through her like hands. So with Black Vortex and his ability to nullify Devil Fruits, it probably like just fall apart, right?
Yeah, that's all I think. Like it would just either fall apart or fall off or not stick.
Yeah, I'm thinking of it like flower petals. But
like dissolve, like cherry blossoms.
Yeah. Right.
Do you think? I mean, last thing, post time skip because we gotta get back to pre time skip to end out the video. But who do you think she would fight on Blackbeard's crew? San Juan?
I mean, full demon form. I don't.
She did seem pretty large, but also she was still inside that building, inside Onigashima.
Gotcha.
And San Juan is humongous.
He's a giant with a giant.
Yeah.
You tell us down in the chat. Who would you guys like to see?
I feel like
her face. I mean, because Blackbeard may not even be our final opponent. So, who do you guys? Let's see from the government. What do you guys think, as far as her being a 1v1 or 2v1 with somebody else crew? Who do you guys think she faces?
Yeah. So pick 3 of them. If she has to fight anybody in the government in the final arc, who would it be? Anybody on the Blackbeard Pirates, or anybody just any opposition at all? Pick government, Blackbeard, and the mystery 3 that you would like to see. Because I feel like after we saw what we saw in the post time skip, like it does open up the abilities more. But sticking to pre time skip, she really has no fighting capability outside the clutch. Because as we move to Sabaody Archipelago, she didn't do anything. She was the one on the ground reaching out, calling for Luffy, while everybody else tried to attack.
Yeah. This is her transition into her current role on the Straw Hats post time skip. It's not your fight. Your fight is your job here is to go read. Your job is to kind of give us the information that we're missing. That's more of your role. And don't get me wrong, she can throw hands with certain people and be sufficient at it. But that I just don't feel like that's her role on the ship anymore, and that's fine.
Yeah.
That's not. I don't think that's what she wants to do either. So, I think unless called upon, I don't think she wants to fight.
Yeah, like Gohan don't want to fight.
Yeah, but he will whoop your ass if he has to.
She's more so in a position of communication in decoding or deciphering. Like she communicates with the Straw Hats on a person-by-person basis and meets them where they're at. She's communicating with the past by decoding and deciphering the poneglyphs. Like, that's all it really is.
Yeah. And
then here's the saddest part about pre-time skip for Robin. Last part. I mean, if you guys want to, or you guys know what Saba Obidi?
Oh no! Since there's not as much as Usopp, we could do Sabaody, go into like Tequila Wolf and all that.
Because this was the saddest shit, like for me. Bro, how dare you give the saddest backstory, the saddest post Sabati arc? Like, I don't know. It was like you sent the person who has the worst life to the slave bridge, and it's like, okay, here you go. Here's some fun for you.
Usopp,
I was like, dude, that's rough, dog. Like,
you could go hang out
give it
with
to somebody else.
That's a good point. Like, and honestly, that actually makes me think about what I just said about her being on the ground, like reaching out to people. Like, it's probably been a week, maybe, if that, since she was like, I want to live. You know what? Everything's all fine. You know what I mean? They get to Sabaody, and then everything is taken from her right in front of her eyes. All the people that protected
never mind.
all the people
me.
that protected her the first time couldn't protect her this time, and it's just like pop, and then she's in prison.
I mean, this is though. I mean, I'll say it.
I'd be like, is everybody in prison? Is everybody just in different prisons?
This does lead her into meeting her dad, Dragon, of course. So, which is great because that's my theory, is that she's Dragon's daughter, and that's why Dragon always asks about her over Luffy. But the revolutionaries free her after a couple days of being on this slave bridge, which has to be horrific because she knows so much about the history that she probably has heard about this bridge in reading, and then she thought maybe she hasn't read it in a while, and she's like, wait, they're still building this shit 700 years later. It's like, it's crazy, but good ending to that arc, at least, where she gets freed by the revolutionary, which is nice.
I wonder, out of all the people that can read the poneglyphs, we have her, we have Pudding, I believe we have people in Wano. We're getting to that point where we're gonna see like the few people that can read poneglyphs. I bet you out of like the few that we have, 2 are gonna be left. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, there's no way we're gonna have 5 people still being able to read poneglyphs at the end of the story. I don't think. But we will see. Her life is in constant danger. Just being the demon child, knowing what she knows about the Void Century, now even increasing that, being on the Straw Hat Pirates, which is at outright war with the government. She's definitely a character with a large bounty for a reason. I wonder if we could have more Nico Robin time in any arc pre-time skip, which one would you guys choose?
I would have to choose the post-war, because this is where she, as an adult, can get a lot of information from the revolutionaries, because they are themselves trying to build their own nation that rivals the world government. So they do have like a history aspect to them where they need to keep all of this stuff written down for future telling. And this could be a place where she really helps fill the gaps for some of them, where it's not just it's a mutual benefit to both of them, where she's like, oh, I read on O'Hara this happened, that's missing from your guys' something. And I mean, there's a reason that Dragon loves her so much, and it's right here, and we do not see a whole lot of it. So what does he see in her that she is the light of the revolution? Because that's his name for her, if I do believe so.
Maybe it's like the spark that they need, the information with the spark that they need. Kind of like how Vegapunk is right now. But she can do that. Well, what Vegapunk's doing is just what they needed her for, just at an exponential level.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a good point. Chris, you have any?
Thriller Bark. I want to see her go up against Piranha, see if it's just Usopp, or potentially her as well, because goddamn.
Yeah, I would like to see her.
Less about yourself.
Yeah, I wonder how her versus Piranha would have been. Trying to find the real body for Piranha and everything by using your observation while also like fighting. But I bet you we would not have been fighting Kumase. I'll say that much. I'll say that much. Kumase would have been dealt with. She would have ripped him up.
They could have tag team Robin and Usopp versus Kumase and Piranha.
That would have been nice.
But then you don't get the Usopp moment, but still,
yeah,
would have been nice, because that's her whole shtick, is making you depressed, and they both have low self-worth. So
nice. I was gonna say it would have like drawn it out. I was like, yeah, and then if like Robin was there, you would have had to diminish her because she would have had to ask for Usopp's help, or it would have been like, oh, I could do this by myself. I am worthy. Oh shit, the ghost work. So there was a lot of things that could have happened if you wrote it different that would not have worked. Damn. But I do like the idea of her and Usopp teaming up, like against like Piranha and Kumase. Like I think that's just a cool battle. I think her and Usopp teaming up, honestly, like she's like, they're over there, they're over there, they're over there, they're over there, or something like that. I don't know. I feel like we could do a lot. But what do you guys think? Pre-time skip Robin, the Miss All Sunday demon child, light of the revolution herself. What are your favorite moments, favorite fights, favorite abilities, favorite anything Robin pre-time skip? Let us know in the comments below. And if you guys like this kind of content, check the playlist. We talked about Usopp last week. We're going to talk about another one next week. We talked about the episode that just dropped yesterday. We talked about the manga review that just dropped 2 days ago. We got plenty of content for you. Click, like, subscribe, and we'll be back tomorrow.
Have a good Monday.